holler for a Kansas grocery store. I got one. Got an extra one.
I think so too. They're always reliable.
Right.
Okay. You want one?
I got an extra one.
Okay. All right.
Just read it because I They're not going to give you reports.
Okay. That's the deal.
As a reminder, please be sure you silence all of your cell phones. Thank you. Good morning. I call this meeting to order at 9:30. Present are Secretary Charles Kirby, Treasurer Deborah Isaacs, and myself constituting a quorum. Mr. Link has an excused absence. He has some training that he is attending today. Please rise for the invocation by Katie Brown and remain standing for the pledge to the United States and Texas flags.
Thank you, Lord, for being with us in such a powerful presence here this morning. As we come into the season of Thanksgiving, let us all be thankful for those that we have around us, our friends, our neighbors, the blessings that we share, the many blessings that we have that many won't have this holiday season. We ask that you guide our conversations, our hearts, and our minds as we move forward through this meeting. We ask that you be with us in a powerful way, and help us to realize what it is that you would have us do to your will. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Directors, the minutes from the October 16th, 2019 regular board meeting were provided in your board packets on Monday. Are there any corrections? I have one. On the, excuse me, please allow us to conduct the meeting, thank you. Under consider revisions to the bylaws, Link did not move to approve those revisions, he moved to table them. That's the only revision I have. Do you have anything?
That's all I have.
Okay, if there are no further corrections, all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected, signify by raising your hand.
Backwards.
The minutes are approved. Secretary Kirby, do you have a report?
I do. The secretary's report is pretty short, but I did want to highlight the security synopsis. They responded to over 60 calls during the month of October. There's been a large uptick in loose and noisy animals, and calls for injured or dead wildlife, and suspicious activity. I'll cover everything else in the Director on Call report.
Are there any questions for the secretary?
No.
Okay. Treasurer, do you have a report?
I do have a report. For the month of October, which is our first physical month of our new year, we had a income of for our revenue for the month of October, we had $269,760.32. We had expenses of $196,875.10 for a net profit of $72,692.94. The Los Morris revenue was $5,485.71, with expenses of $4,907.03 for a net we have a negative $1,149.89 for the month.
And if I may, of note, approximately $50,000 of the October revenue was from members paying their assessments in advance for the year. So that still left us approximately $22,000 in the black for October.
I also would like to say that as of yesterday's date, we have $666,912.26 in our bank accounts. Which I know that's the most money that's been in our accounts for at least 9 months.
Are there any questions for the treasurer? Okay. Do you have anything else? No. Okay. Director on call was Mr. Kirby. Sir, do you have a report?
I do. Reporting period is from October 16th through today's date. On October 30th, I met formally with a member to address specific questions they had concerning the association. On November 6th, participated in a conference call with the association attorney to address legal and petition matters, which will be addressed as an agenda item. And on November 15th, notified a Fort Clark employee of a board decision to terminate that employee for cause. On the administrative side, we had a productive and informative town hall meeting with the membership. A lot of things were taken away, and that will have been able to start getting more information to the membership. The next one is scheduled for February 1st, and again, there will be food trucks set up afterwards. The Unit 1 lighting, that one light was installed, and we're looking to see if it will be the right purchase to make to complete the entire lighting in Unit 1. Stronger oversight has been put in on delinquent accounts. Last month I reported that there was $300,000 in delinquencies. Since last month, one has paid in full and another has paid in half of it. And there's 84 cases with legal for collection currently. We were able to pay our common property taxes and take advantage of the 3% discount. As a reminder, the fiscal year 2020 budget calls for the allocations of the projected common property tax, and our goal is to have our goal is not to have to impose a assessment for that next year. There is approximately $45,000 in outstanding common property assessments that are now delinquent. We're asking membership to please get those paid up. One motel room has been renovated and 2 are currently in the process of being renovated. The projected completion is dated for February, barring financial delays with the pending petition expenses. The first edition of the Bugle was sent out November 1st. Hard copy prints were printed through money generated from advertisement on the Bugle. A new Bugle box was made and set up in the historic location near the Service Club. The December's edition is in the works. Anyone wanting to submit information for the Bugle needs to get that to fcsa@fortclark.com by this Friday at noon. The Sip and Paint was a successful event, earning a profit of $245 and generating $110 in beverage sales. There will be a December Sip and Paint with a holiday theme. A meeting was conducted with federal and state law enforcement to discuss a way ahead to combat the growing drug problem on the fort. On December 10th, we are planning a FCSA Community Night Out to formally kick off the Neighborhood Watch program and give residents an opportunity to spend some time with law enforcement as well as learn how to report what you may see. There has been a lot of turnover in the security department. Please be patient with the new personnel learning the ropes. As a reminder, please call in your guests and report suspicious activity. For people who purchased vouchers for deer hunting, please remember that you have to schedule your hunt at the front office so that they know what to expect and where you might coordinate being placed out in a blind. There's one doe voucher left for purchase, and to date, this hunting season, a total of 48 deer have been harvested, and approximately $49,000 has been made. January 1st is, I guess, the halfway point, so we're at about a halfway point as far as revenue was today compared to last year. Because of the voucher program that was instituted, though, we've gained 3 new recreational members due to the incentives for being a recreational member. There is a requirement to maintain that membership for 1 year. Upgrades are being made to the internet services at the RV park to allow for guests staying 3 days or less to have complimentary internet. Guests staying longer than 3 days will still have to pay as you go. We're looking at options for getting the cable working there again as well. The heavy equipment in maintenance has been down for repairs, which has delayed brush pickup this month. Please be patient. There is 1 more roof being replaced, projected to start on Monday. Then all roof replacements will be complete. As a reminder, we are also now accruing for the insurance deductible that we will have to pay if we need roof replacements again. The accrual is spread out over 2 fiscal years. A meeting was conducted with some of the local realtors to gauge the market as well as talk about how the fort can work with them to market and attract new members. And the search for a new website platform is still ongoing. We hope to have some options for consideration at the next board meeting in December. That's all I have.
Are there any questions for the director on call?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, committee reports. From the airport committee hosted a funeral for Mike Schillick. Anyone who was able to attend, we thank you for your attendance. It was a beautiful ceremony. The Air Force and the Army Honor Guard came out to support and render military honors, which was really nice. 33 motorcycles from San Antonio and Eagle Pass also came to pay tribute to Mike. So please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. Judy is going through a lot, and she's going to need all the love she can get. It's a very difficult time for them. The airport is looking to host fly-in, weather pending, on Saturday, so this weekend you may see some increase in aviation traffic around the area. Please remember that when the gates are locked, it means you don't jump the gate. We have to keep the planes secure. In addition, next week starts the roof replacement out there at the hangar. And again, please be mindful of the fact that there will be traffic coming in and out of that area as well. Architecture committee, do you have a report? Okay, no report from architecture. Equine, I'm sorry, I need to take that off. Golf committee.
Okay, I'm not on the golf committee, but I report on behalf of On October 26th, they had a Halloween tournament. Everybody had a good time. It was a good turnout. Everybody had fun, and I understand somebody came in costume that was quite spectacular. I wasn't there, but I heard it was really good. On November 9th, they had the turkey shoot tournament. They had four teams, and they gave away 5 turkeys. On November 30th will be the end of the month tournament. On December 7th will be the Angel Tournament benefit, and I'm not sure who that benefit is for. Who's?
Jaime and Martin Flores Jr., with both of them work for, well, one of them works for, their father works for Rio Grande, and the other one did work for Rio Grande.
Okay. Then on December 14th, and I'd like to expound on this one just a little bit. On December 14th is the Kris Kringle tournament combined with the KCCA tournament. I don't know if you all are familiar with KCCA. It's the Kinney County Church Alliance. It is the organization that does the benevolence work in Kinney County. They feed the needy. Their main project is the food pantry. And of course, everybody's familiar with the Feast of Sharing. That's far down on the list of things we do in Kinney County, but it is nevertheless a spectacular event as it was last week. We ask that anybody that would like to come out and play, it doesn't matter if you've played golf before or just would like to come out and putt or whatever, but to come out and support this event is very important. This is the only fundraiser that the Church Alliance has throughout the year, and it has to fund everything they do throughout the year. It is a 501c3 organization. They've set the date for the Los Morris tournament next year, which of course is our biggest tournament here on the fort, for March 14th and 15th. The golf course is dry due to the drought, but still well maintained and in good playing shape. And I would like to just say one last thing. I would like to express my thanks to Debbie Isaacs. In her tremendously busy schedule, she has taken time out to be behind the scenes on a lot of these tournaments and out front in some of them, but doing all of the work that most of us don't know how to do. So thank you for your guidance and thank you for being there.
Thank you.
Golf claps amongst the crowd. Preservation Committee.
Good morning. Morning. This is regarding the railings for the 2 motel buildings that's been discussed on numerous occasions. MK Builders, David Mann, and Guerrero Brothers were asked for a 3rd set of bids. I guess because we have pretty much decided what the design's going to be, that was an issue. We expect by November 27th bids from MK Builders and Guerrero Brothers. David Mann has declined to submit a 3rd bid. The new specifications are an X design at the top. The height will be 42 inches. It's currently 36. They feel that going to 42 would not impact the view, the look of the historic district, and it's safer than 36 inches. There will be no supporting beam in the middle. At this point, they don't think it's needed. If at some point in time after inspection there's some reason to put the supporting beam in, they can do it then. So we're still waiting for 2 more bids. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a comment, the 42 inches it was raised to that because of the fact that that's the code for building codes. Recycling, do you have anything?
Morning. We sent a shipment October 3rd, but thus far we haven't gotten an invoice. But my guess is we'll probably be negative again since the truck costs us $500. So we only possibly might make 200. So we're always negative, but we're saving the landfill. Okay. And maybe we'll make pretty good money within a week or so. We're going to have the cardboard picked up probably within 2 weeks. The cardboard is super, because we don't have to pay for the truck. So that's great. So maybe, I'm hoping maybe $800 out of that. I don't know for sure, but I think we've got about 45 bales of cardboard to move out. So that's a good thing. Thank you.
Ms. McBride, is the recycling center gonna have modified hours during the Thanksgiving holiday?
You know, I don't think, I don't know what day of the week December 25th is.
Thanksgiving is next week on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday? Yeah, we'll be out Thursday, but the weekend we will be working. So, yeah. And Christmas, I don't know if Christmas is a Thursday or a Saturday.
Christmas is on a Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay, so we're good on December. So.
Thank you. So just to reiterate, on Thursday next week for Thanksgiving, the recycling center will be closed, but will be open on Saturday. Community Council, did you have a report?
I gotta go here?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, leave it there the way it's on the video.
Oh, excuse me, hi.
Yeah. Darn videos.
Pardon me?
Those darn videos. We got 3 going today.
Okay, I'm doing well, thank you. First of all, I have.
So please speak into the microphone as well, ma'am. Thank you.
Now can you all hear me? Okay. I'd like to read a couple of letters verbatim, which I believe the board has already received. If not, I do have copies, and I will give a copy to Mr. Lee. Okay?
Are these community council?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the
Okay.
Secretary of Community Council. The letter is signed by Kathleen Warren, Fort Clark Springs Community Council. Okay, Allison could not be here because she's teaching.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Dear Maria and board, first of all, I am assuming that the entire board has read my letter of November 7th and Maria's response. Is that correct? I had yes or no, but I don't want you guys to take time saying yes or no. I would like each board member to answer, but that's life. As you know, Community Council met this past Saturday. On our agenda was the dispatch that Fort Clark Springs Board was sent via an email stating that anyone that had items in Shafter must be removed by December 1st. My letter of November 7th to you, Maria, and your reply were discussed in a lengthy discussion amongst our board and members present in our audience. Your answer to my question number 4, that preservation had nothing planned for Shafter Hall. It is the fort that is doing that. Yes or no? The dispatch, however, is signed by the Historic Building and Repair Committee. Preservation, is that correct? Yes or no? We had 3 members on the Preservation Committee at our meeting, and they all agreed that the committee never mentioned Shafter Hall as their next endeavor. They were only going to continue to work on Seminole Hall. The dialogue in the dispatch is extremely vague with no details and not done in a very professional manner. We still do not understand why we were not sent a separate letter with a better explanation. We also agree that your answers to all of my 6 questions really didn't satisfactorily address our concerns. Your answers were vague. Community Council would appreciate it if we could meet with the entire Fort Clark Springs Association Board so we could be given a better explanation with more details. I'm going over. All the items in Shafter Hall are property of Community Council, and as far as we know, the board does not have the right to remove any of it without sending us a written letter with more details. Question: how can the Fort Clark Springs Association Board make changes in a document that was signed by the Preservation Committee without anyone on that committee knowing anything about it? Everyone here is a member of Community Council, and we deserve an answer from each individual board trustee. That would help disperse some of the rumors going around. Thank you. I will give you letters.
What was that?
I want to make sure, did you all read my first letter that I sent, that Maria and I sent? No,
I didn't get a second letter.
no, but you got my first one.
So do you have stuff you're going to give us?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to do that. Okay. I have that, okay.
So you're,
I have one more thing, it's,
well, okay, this has to be Community Council report. No more letters. We can read your letters that you want to give to us, but that's not the time.
my
for
question is,
this.
I don't know if you all read the first letter that I sent to the whole board at the beginning, from November 7th.
The board
Did
is
you?
courtesy copied on my response.
Did you all get a copy of my letter with the
I read so
responses?
much, I would have to see the letter.
Thank you, that's why I'm going to give you extra, and I will give one to Bill Link. I just asked a little bit of indulgence. This is very short.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I would ask the board's indulgence for a little more time, as I would like to apologize for a grievous mistake I made. A couple of years ago, I made an extremely bad choice that has affected all members of Fort Clark Springs Association. I didn't realize what impact my decision would have on the procedures and the future of Fort Clark Springs. The current board is now implementing many processes at their board meetings, which I have never seen on any of the boards that I have served. All trustees voice their opinions, and after discussion, we voted. We were never allowed to hold pre-board meetings before the actual meeting. I allowed Maria to put her election sign on our property. Wally and I gave her 3 votes. I now realize that this was an extremely huge error on my part. I am sorry that I supported her. To all the members of the association, I apologize for helping get her elected. I hope that all the members of Fort Clark Springs Association can help correct this unfortunate position. This is not the Army. This is not the Air Force. This is not Germany. We do not want a dictator. This is a board meeting where all owners should be able to express their concerns and not get dictated on time, content, etc. This is the United States of America, where people can openly speak. Perhaps the board should remember that and maybe add their input instead of inviting one person to dominate the entire meeting. That being said, I would like to hand over a check over to Helena. This is for the coalition and doing the recall. It's not much, but I encourage everybody to help this cause. Thank you. I am so totally disappointed.
Her name is Kathy Worm.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes. I'm sorry, ma'am, you're done.
I could be in trouble.
I am
Make it
being
Kathleen
very
Warm.
patient with this. This is not a community council report, and I'm sorry that you feel
It
that
was.
way. That is not a community council report,
Yes, it
ma'am.
was.
So we have no old or unfinished business.
Well, there's the dictator.
In new business, the first thing is a report of email votes taken. The first is internet upgrades for the RV park. The board voted to go forward with the internet upgrades to allow free for guests staying 3 days or less and pay as you go for over 3 days. The second was an agreement with UPS to allow them to park a storage container for Thanksgiving to Christmas so they can expedite package delivery on the fort. That is a $300 rental of a parking space. So you'll see that next week. The third was awarding of the motel room renovation to MK Builders at $1,360 per room as the rooms are completed. That's when they will be paid. The contract total is $48,960. The anticipated completion date is February of 2020. There were 3 bids submitted, and 1 bid was removed from those bids for consideration, and so of the 3 bids, only 2 were available for selection, and MK Builders was selected. Next action item is to consider entering a facility usage agreement with Mobile Mountain Yoga. Mobile Mountain Yoga would like to utilize the teen center to offer the following: ukulele classes starting in December, exercise classes starting in January, and it will also include complimentary yoga classes for members, non-members who would pay a drop-in fee, which would be donated to the 4th of July festivities. The total usage income from this agreement would come to $1,012.50. The board is being asked to take into consideration this agreement. So I will go down the line. Ms. Isaacs, do you have any comments?
Well, I think this is a need that our membership needs. I think we can take it in here and see how it works out. I would like to see this happen, not only because of the ukulele and some of the other things, but I think that I would be in favor of this.
Mr. Kirby?
Well, in line with the agreement with the dance and the taekwondo, received a lot of positive feedback with that, and it also brings in income to the fort. So I would be in agreement with this as well.
Of note, Mr. Link has recused himself for conflict of interest. And I also do support this. I think this is great. With the addition of these classes, the teen center will essentially be used every day of the week, which should be really neat. At this time, I'll open the floor for 3-member comments. Yes, ma'am, would you please state your name first and then your comment?
Kate Burkhardt.
And these are comments, not questions.
With the increased usage of the youth center, does the rent increase for the person using for the classes?
Well, as indicated in the usage agreements, the companies are renting the facility.
I'm sorry, would you?
The companies are renting the facility. So they rent the facility for a certain point in time, and that's their rental agreement.
For
So they are
every
paying
day,
for
I
it.
mean, every day what's included in it, and what is the rent?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the rent?
Oh, well, for this specific one, the total usage agreement for all of the dates that they're asking is $1,012.
Per month?
Inclusive for all of the things that they're doing, and it's about 2 months worth of stuff.
Okay.
Second member comment? Okay. Board, do you have any follow-up questions?
I do not.
Concerns?
I do.
Okay. Do I have a motion on the floor regarding this?
I'll make a motion that we go into a contract with Mobile Mountain for the time specified in this contract.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Okay. Motion passes unanimously.
That was Mobile Mountain Yoga.
Correct. And her classes will begin in December. We'll start to send information out about that. Next action item is consider facility usage agreement with Old Quarry Society. FCSA would support Old Quarry with up to $1,250 for their 2020-2021 production year. FCSA members will be given free general admission to shows. Old Quarry would continue to provide support for FCSA-sponsored functions. Old Quarry will work in conjunction with FCSA to maintain the interior of the theater. Old Quarry will co-sponsor the variety show in March with FCSA. Of note, when we passed the fiscal year 20 budget, we authorized up to $1,000 in support for Old Quarry Society. Old Quarry Society has indicated that they would like to take that money and put it towards fixing the flooring in the theater so that we can ensure that there's stable flooring for any of the productions that are slated to be in that theater. Ms. Isaacs, do you have any comments?
The only comment I would like to make is that I think that next year, possibly they want to look at some more dates and things. I think we need to get the Old Quarry back interested in having these plays, and I do support this.
Mr. Kirby?
I don't have any comments on this one for the members.
Okay. My comments are that I think it's great that we can figure out a way to work it to where members can get free general admission, and we can also support Old Quarry. And I think it's very gracious that they want to take the money that we allocated to support their program and they want to put it towards the flooring in the theater. So I think this is great all around. At this time, I'll open the floor for 3-member comments.
Natanya Watkinson. I didn't hear on the usage agreement if the Old Quarry is being charged or if there is no, they're not paying the fort for usage. And I know that that's a question. I apologize, but I'm not sure that we've completely heard or understand the agreement, the usage agreement. Thank you.
The agreement information is up here on that slide, and that would be correct. They're not going to be paying for the facility. Are there any other comments from the board or 2 other member comments from the audience? Okay. Ms. Isaacs, do you have any other comments?
No.
Mr. Kirby?
No.
Okay. Are there any motions on the floor?
I'll make a motion to vote on the approval of this agreement with Old Quarry Society.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is to consider usage agreement of Shafter Hall for Beta Sister Bake Sale. The bake sale is during Fort Clark Days. Money raised supports the Bracketville community. They would like to rent the facility for 2 days, March 6th through 7th, 2020, for $80. The board is being asked to consider this request. Ms. Isaacs, do you have anything?
I don't.
Mr. Kirby?
No, I'll support that request.
I'll open the floor for 3-member comments. Okay, there are no member comments. Ms. Isaacs, do you have anything else?
And this is for the Fort Clark Days, correct?
Correct. It's their historic bake sale that they have.
I don't have a problem with it.
Mr. Kirby? Anything else?
No.
Okay. Do I have any motions on the floor?
I'll make a motion that we go into contract with the Beta Sisters for the Shafter Hall for those 2 days.
Just a point of correction. It's not a contract, it would be a usage agreement.
Okay, a usage agreement.
I'll second that usage agreement.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is consider usage agreement of the commissary building for Fort Clark Days vendors. Vendors requiring electricity would be giving the full vendor fee to Fort Clark Springs Association. No charge for commissary building to use for support of Fort Clark Days to the committee. It would be used on March 6th and 7th, 2020, and the vendors that did not require electricity would still give their vendor fee to Fort Clark Days Committee, as will be enforced on the ones that are not in that building too. Ms. Isaacs, do you have any comments?
No.
Mr. Kirby?
No, doesn't look like there's any negative impact to the board here, so I'd support this.
Okay. I'll open the floor for 3-member comments.
Natanya Watkinson again. Did you say that those who don't use electricity will also pay a vendor fee that will go to Fort Clark Springs Association?
That is not what I said. I said if the vendor requires electricity, that fee goes to the fort. If the vendor does not require electricity, that goes to Fort Clark Days Committee as previously discussed.
Okay. And have these agreements, the things that you all have discussed with Fort Clark Days Committee and Community Council in writing, been transferred to Community Council and Fort Clark Days so that they know the what they are operating under and is agreed to previously by this board?
You would have to talk to the Fort Clark Days Committee about what they have from the fort. Thank you.
They've not received it. Thank you.
Are there any other member comments? You have your hand up? Okay. Ms. Isaacs, do you have anything else?
I do not.
Mr. Kirby?
Nothing.
Are there any motions on the floor?
I'll enter a motion to consider usage agreement, or to approve a usage agreement with the commissary building for Fort Clark Springs Day, or Fort Clark Days.
I'll second.
There's a motion on the floor and the second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion passes. Next item is a discussion on updates to the rules and regulations. The board will not be voting on this item today. Then, let's see, an electronic copy of the proposed changes have been sent to the directors along with a printed copy provided in board packets. The proposed updates are a combination of the recommendations from the special committee who worked on the rules, as well as from the staff who enforced the rules. Highlights of the proposals are clarification of member, guest, and renter privileges, the creation of penalties for violation of rules and regulations in the form of flagrant and non-flagrant violations, as well as remedies for appeals. Ms. Isaacs, do you have any comments?
No, I just would like to make a note that these really need to be gone over, looked at, see how they can be enforced. before we actually approve of these rules and regulations. I know there's already been a committee that has put a lot of time into them, but if we're not gonna enforce our rules, I hate to see us make rules that we're not gonna enforce.
Mr. Kirby?
I'm of the same opinion. I've read through them twice since receiving them, and other than some small typos here and there, I don't see anything blaring that is a major concern to me. But not having teeth as an association to enforce it is a strong concern of mine, and it's something that we need to consider apart from just the rules and regulations on how we're going to do that moving forward. That's all the comments I have.
I agree. One of the things that specifically Matt, our chief of security, has talked about was the fact that the rules and regulations are not strong enough to enforce. And so it's after he read through them and sat down and really looked at what kind of violations we do have, and he spoke with other HOAs and their security. We looked at other rules and regulations in other places as well, and this is what they came up with. What I'd like to see us do is really fine-tooth comb this and see exactly what we think is value added and what we think could be removed. And then after we've come to some sort of a consensus on that, I'd like to send it out to the membership so they can at least see it. And then when Mr. Link is back, we can talk about it more in December. I don't know, what do you think?
I think that would be a great idea, and I don't think that I'd have a real problem if we wanted to bring them in here and a couple of people sit down and look at them and go over them between now and then. Just for the membership to actually look at them and discuss them if they wanted to.
You think about like a workshop?
Like a workshop.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's not going to be a mandatory, but if somebody, 3 or 4 of us wanted to get together, come in here and sit down and go through them, I think that would be a great deal to do.
I do. In reading the director on call report, and we've had a lot of security turnover. I know Matt's probably frustrated with it, as is some of the issues that it causes for membership. We're already engaged with the sheriff's department on a drug effort, and with a high turnover or the inability to keep security personnel here long term, I'm wondering if it might be a good idea to engage with the sheriff's department on in contracting part-time deputies to fill those gaps where security has currently. I think that would be give us a little bit more teeth and presence that could assist in enforcing these rules and regulations.
That's a good point. We may also look at petitioning the Commissioner's Court to see about getting the county to get another deputy on the sheriff's staff so that we can have a dedicated deputy here as well. So that's something else to consider. But I'll open the floor for 3-member comments. The comments are up to a minute in length, so please don't forget that. Are there any comments out there?
This is positive. My name is Garland Young, and I was just listening to the discussion of the board. And I know from living here since '06 that we have a lot of complaints between members about the speeding on the fort and stuff like this. The only add-on I'd add to Mr. Kirby,
Yes, sir.
comments were down in Little Rock, Arkansas, the HOA that my friend owned the property in, and I was down there to help him move out. Their security is deputized by the sheriff's office, but there's some agreement so they don't get deputies paid, but they have the authority to stop people on the fort and give them tickets that would be answerable to the JP. And that's all I got. I think it's a great idea.
Any other member comments? Ms. Gale? I would just like to reiterate what Debbie said and encourage a workshop or something we set up, which is something I always do in the past, because the rules and regs affect all of us in every aspect. And I feel it's important that the membership get a chance to look, discuss, and give their input. Thank you. Are there any other member comments? One more. Go ahead.
I have a lot to say this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My concern on this is, how do you enforce rules and regulations as an HOA and an association when we have a board of directors that does not follow our rules and regulations as well as HOA laws? I don't know how you put teeth into anything when our leaders won't follow those themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac, do you have anything else to add?
I do not.
Mr. Kirby?
I'm good.
Okay, and then I have nothing else, and that ends that discussion. Okay, the next item for discussion is filling the board vacancy. With the upcoming petition-driven election possibility, it is not in the best interest of the association to appoint a director to fill this vacancy, to have that individual unfairly represented on a ballot for retention or removal. It's my recommendation that this be tabled until the outcome of the petition-driven election has been resolved. Board members, what are your thoughts?
That is my thought 100%. Why put somebody up here to be ready to be taken off in a week or two or a month or whatever it is? I just can't see putting somebody through that.
Mr. Kirby?
I support that opinion as well. Table.
This is not an action item that we'll vote on, but we didn't put it on there to take action, so we'll just table it. I will say, actually, I didn't open the floor for 3 member comments. So if there are 3 member comments, we'll hear those comments. No member comments, okay. Next discussion is consideration of removal petition. Let's see. The association's legal counsel has provided a legal analysis of this petition, and I'm going to read that in full. Based on legal counsel's legal analysis, the vote being called by the petitioners is supported with their signatures, and we have to proceed with the vote. The expense for this is shouldered on the association. Coincidentally, the projected legal fees are within $3,000 of the cost of the motel renovations. The board will discuss what availability we have to pursue a special election. I'm going to go ahead and read what legal counsel sent us. And this is lengthy. Process in relation to petition to call a special meeting. The association received a special meeting petition for removal of directors. It appears that the requisite number of signatures, 1/10 of the lot owners, is present to mandate the board of directors, the board, to call a special meeting of the members for the purpose of voting on the removal of directors. Certain petitioners have demanded that the board, quote, accept, end quote, the special meeting petition for removal of directors. A plain reading of the bylaws, particularly Article 4, Section 4D of the bylaws, yields the conclusion that the board is not mandated to, quote, accept, end quote, a petition. All that is required is that the board notice the special meeting, which is what the board intends to do. The board will send out notice and agenda of the special meeting, including the time, date, place, and purpose of the meeting. Along with the notice, the board will include the ballot, all reasons given by the petitioners for the removal of the directors, and rebuttal comments submitted by the directors. This documentation will be sent by the association no earlier than 60 days, nor later than 10 days prior to the meeting. See Article 4, Section 4, Paragraph D of the bylaws. The board has not set a date yet, but is considering the month of January or February 2020 as the appropriate month to hold a special meeting. This, in part, is contingent upon the availability and ability to engage the auditing firm and the ability of our legal counsel to be present. Per the petition submitted to the board, the purpose of the special meeting is voting yes or no to remove Maria Perkins as director and president of the association board, voting yes or no to remove Deborah Isaacs as director and treasurer of the association board, voting yes or no to remove William Link as director and vice president of the association board, voting yes or no to remove Charles Kirby as director and secretary of the association board, voting yes or no to remove the new director appointed to this position on or around October 1st, 2019. Note, the board did not appoint a new director to fill the vacancy. Thus, there will not be a vote at the special meeting on this director seat. A certified list of lot owner memberships and mailing labels for each membership which is eligible will be prepared by the office. All voting for such removal election will be mailed by ballot with no proxy voting. The ballots will be counted and results reported to the association at the meeting by an auditing firm in the same manner for either an annual membership or special meeting, following the same procedure as the annual election of the directors. The results of the removal election, as certified by the election auditing firm, shall be presented by a representative of the auditing firm. See Article 4, Section 3, Paragraph E, Number 12 of the bylaws. A plurality of the votes cast by those entitled to vote and voting shall constitute an election. In the case of a tie, choice shall be by lot. See Article 4, Section 3, Paragraph E, Number 13 of the bylaws. Contemporaneous with the special meeting to vote on the removal of the directors, a board meeting will also be called to order for the remaining directors to vote on filling any vacancy in the board caused by the removal vote. Section 22.212A of the Texas Business Organization Code provides the following. Unless otherwise provided by the certificate of formation or bylaws of the corporation, a vacancy in the board of directors of a corporation shall be filled by the affirmative vote of the majority of the remaining directors, regardless of whether that majority is less than a quorum. A director elected to fill a vacancy is elected for the unexpired term of the member's predecessor in office. Article 4, Section 4, Paragraph G of the bylaws only addresses how to fill a vacancy on the board caused by resignation, death, or incapacity of a director. Article 4, Section 4, Paragraph D of the bylaws only discusses how to vote on, count, and report the results of the removal election. This provision and the bylaws are silent as to how to fill a vacancy on the board caused by removal. The Articles of Incorporation, equivalent to the Certificate of Formation identified in Section 22.212A of the Business Organization Code, are silent as to how to fill a vacancy on the board caused by removal. Based on the guidance of our legal counsel, a vacancy in the board at the special meeting to remove directors, quote, shall be filled by the affirmative vote of the majority of the remaining directors, end quote. See Section 22.212A of the Business Organizations Code. The process for the special meeting and board meeting will be as follows. Special meeting to remove directors will be called to order. The meeting of the board to vote to fill any vacancies caused by removal will also be called to order. The ballots in relation to voting yes or no to remove Maria Perkins as director and officer will be counted and the results reported by the auditing firm contracted for such purpose. If Maria Perkins is removed, the remaining directors, via a majority vote, will choose the director to fill the vacancy. Please silence that cell phone.
Just trying to find it.
The ballots in relation to voting yes or no to remove Deborah Isaacs as director and officer will be counted and the results reported by the auditing firm contracted for such purpose. If Deborah Isaacs is removed, the remaining directors, via a majority vote, will choose the director to fill the vacancy. This includes the new director appointed to fill the vacancy caused by the removal of Maria Perkins. The ballots in relation to voting yes or no to remove William Link as director and officer will be counted and the results reported by the auditing firm contracted for such purpose. If William Link is removed, the remaining directors, via a majority vote, will choose the director to fill the vacancy. This includes the new directors appointed to fill the vacancies caused by the removal of Maria Perkins and Deborah Isaacs. The ballots in relation to voting yes or no to remove Charles Kirby as director and officer will be counted and the results reported by the auditing firm contracted for such purpose. If Charles Kirby is removed, the remaining directors, via a majority vote, will choose the director to fill the vacancy. This includes the new directors appointed to fill the vacancies caused by the removal of Maria Perkins, Deborah Isaacs, and William Link. Both the special meeting and the board meeting will adjourn. Legal counsel reiterates the notion that the removal process will be expensive in terms of attorney fees, and those fees completely avoidable if enough members remove their names from the petition. To date, legal fees for the association total almost $6,000. He reminds everyone that the estimated total cost will be between $35,000 and $45,000 or higher if litigation is filed. Given the potential fact that the board may be removed, it is the legal firm's policy to clear all legal charges prior to the special meeting and require a retainer of $10,000 to ensure that any legal fees associated with the special meeting, including counsel's attendance and/or charges that may incur after the special meeting via the new board, will be covered. That was from legal counsel. So as I indicated earlier, the board will discuss what availability we have in conjunction with the legal team to pursue a special meeting in January or February of 2020. Please note that in March is the annual meeting. Directors, do you have any comments?
No.
None.
After I read all that, you have no comments.
Spelled out pretty clearly, so.
As a reminder, that was written by the attorneys. The attorneys do not represent the board members. The attorneys represent the association. And the attorneys are in contract with the association to ensure the association is run smoothly and there is no delay or lack of governance of our association. So that is why they are involved. What I would like to say is I've seen all four of them here. If Ms. Hagan, Ms. O'Brien, Ms. McBride, and Ms. Gregoric are open to it, the board would like to meet with them to see what kind of a compromise we can figure out. Because I'm going to speak very frankly, this is a waste of association money. I understand that there are opinions and everyone's entitled to them, but seeing that we are already at $6,000 in legal fees, seeing that our finances are at the highest that they've been in several months, and seeing as the fees will just rise, also seeing as none of them have come to the board asking to talk, I'm throwing the olive branch out and I'm saying that if you want to talk, let's talk. If not, that's fine too. But we tried. At this time, if the board members don't have any other comments, I will open the floor up to 3 member comments in 1 minute, 1 minute in length. They will not be combative, and we will not lose control of what's going on in this board meeting. It is still a board meeting. 3 member comments. Go ahead.
It's Kathy again. I just have a question. When you say legal team, is that like a whole group of people, or are you referring just to the lawyer? I don't know what legal team means, except you see all these people around, but is it just a lawyer that wrote this? Your lawyer?
The law firm that represents the association wrote that.
Okay.
There's more than one lawyer in that law firm.
Oh, okay. And then my question is, how can I get a copy of their letter?
We are actually going to distribute that via email to the membership.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's all I really have. Thank you.
Is there another comment? Sir, Mr. Ketty?
My name is Michael Ketty, and my wife and I are pretty new here. We got here in January and just moved in June. And I don't know all the details of stuff that's been going on, but from what I've heard, this whole thing is a waste of time. It's a waste of